Here we go. Good evening and welcome to the kickoff of the 2024 Comic Book Community Awards. Appreciate everybody who's here tonight. I know we've got some people rolling in the chat. We're a little bit early for the West Coast, but didn't want to interfere with anybody else's stream tonight. And we're gonna go over a bunch of stuff for the awards, but certainly want to continue to get your feedback. If there's any suggestions or feedback as we go through things tonight, we have a little bit of time before the actual awards will open up this year. So still, we took a lot of feedback from last year and kind of discussed it with the committee. And so we want to just continue that discussion and tweak things to make sure that we're, on track for this year's award. So, but let's check in real quick with the chat before we get into things. Mr. Michael Baker checking in early this morning, beating Lacruciuson. TM Nerdy, one of our winners from last year. Phil is here. This is true. Lacrucius is here. He made it. Collecting with Durs, lurking. Very nice. Tony is here. Comiverse. Appreciate you being here. Spine Ticks Pressing. DJ is here. DJ has his show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern in the mix. There's a number of other shows. I know Biggie Shack's got his Collectors Club tonight, and a bunch of stuff goes on Friday night. So, definitely wanted to try to get this done early and not interfere with any of those other regularly scheduled shows on YouTube. So, Chris is here. HAQ, appreciate you being here. Robert is here. Dismay Comics, Brandon, good to see you. Mike is here, Evil Mike. So we'll check in with the chat as we go. But again, there was a bunch of feedback. So some of the feedback we received from last year was to, potentially tweak some of the categories, some of the existing categories, maybe add some additional categories. Best editing was one. Hangout stream or like community stream was one. A few things were suggested. So we're going to go over that tonight. And one of the things too that came up last year was the debate over charity events. Right, C3 actually was a winner last year, a big community event, Comics Curing Cancer. And one of the things that we've decided this year is that no charity events will be included in the nominations or in the finalist. But that doesn't mean that we may not recognize a charity event. The CBC Awards could potentially recognize a charity event. But I know that was a big topic of discussion, and we hadn't discussed it last year when C3 became nominated. And so, and the fact that they fit the category, we left it in. So, but this year, we've made the decision. I know there's other charities. A lot of people support Mission 22. I know Triple G was actually doing a fundraiser for a charity tonight, I think a mental health charity. And so there are a number of things that the community does to help raise money. There are, Comics Will Break Your Heart. Jen, she has a GoFundMe out there right now. She's dealing with cancer, battling cancer. And so there are a lot of different charity events that happen within the community, but we're going to exclude them, like I said, from this year's awards, just to be fair to everybody. And like I said, it doesn't mean that we cannot recognize some of those great things that are happening in the community. Just kind of keep. So that's kind of one of the things that we decided this year, moving forward. So, and that's one of the other things. So that's one of the other things. We're going to shrink the window for the awards this year. That was a topic of discussion, that the awards take too long. It was almost, the awards run for almost like 9 months by the time maybe 8 months by the time we kick things off with the nominations and then get to the finalist show. So I'll show you the schedule tonight, and we're actually going to shrink it. Shrinkage is a real thing. And one of the questions that came up as well was, and I think actually Mark, Legion of Comics, mentioned it, asked about the committee. So who's on the committee? So I ran it by the committee, said, hey, are you okay with me mentioning who's on the committee? And everybody was fine with it. So, and I'll have this is actually posted up on the CBC Awards website. So you can see that there. But I'll read it to you now. I'll kind of go over the list of people that are on the committee. Now, this committee is new this year. There are some people that were on the committee last year, and there are some new people that are on the committee this year. So, in no particular order, here is the committee for this year: Bleecker Street Comics, Cliff on Comics, Dale of Suspense, Doug Bratton, John's Comics with Kids, K-Pop Junkie, Philtastic Comics and Art, S. Vaughn 82, Shattered Glass Collectibles, Simple Simon, and Circumstance. So those are, and plus myself. So that makes up I think a total of 12 of us that are on the committee. And the committee is open. Yep. So that's 12 members on the committee. Committee is open. If anybody would like to join the committee, they are more than welcome. Just reach out to me. We want to try to keep it to a manageable number. We don't want to have 50 people on the committee because it would just be a lot to manage. But if there are 50 people that are interested in becoming committee members, we can certainly support that. So, yeah, I think so. It's a pretty good mix, right? Some newer people that were added this year: Bleecker Street, K-Pop. I'm trying to think who else. John's Comics with Kids. I actually reached out to John and kind of asked him to join because I think John's a very reasonable guy and he's got a very good opinion, I think, and he's well versed in the community. So I thought he would be a good addition to the committee. So, all right, Dagger won a giveaway a couple weeks ago, so he finally got to. So so that's good. Good news. Yes, there is. I forgot. I actually forgot. And if you still want to be on the committee, we can certainly add you. That yes, yeah. We've never really had a problem with too many people volunteering. I think our first year we had 3 people on the committee. Second and third year, I think we had around 10, and so this year we have a total of 12. So, so good stuff. So that is the committee, and I'm just taking a look at some of the notes from last year too, or some of the suggestions that came through. So one of the things we're going to add this year, about halfway through the nomination period, I'm going to publish a list of all of the nominated channels so far. So, that'll be, like I said, about halfway through the nomination period. We'll put a list out on the website of any and all channels that have been nominated. So if people want to use that as reference or the campaign, they can certainly do that. Because that was one of the suggestions last year about being able to maybe promote or campaign. If, there are some people that choose the campaign and ask for votes. There are other people that do not. There's no wrong or right reason with that. It's totally up to that. Totally up to that person. So let's look at the information. Right. I just want to make sure not missing anything in the chat. We're still talking about the committee. So here is the dates. We'll start with the dates. So we're actually shrinking the window. Nominations were typically open for about a 12-week period and finalists for 12 weeks. We're shrinking that down to 8 weeks. So we're actually going to be kicking off the 2024 CBC Awards in June. June 15th actually happens to be Heroes Con weekend. So that Saturday that Heroes Con is going on, that's when nominations will open. And, it'll run through early August. We have the finalists revealed at the end of August. And then the finalist voting will begin a day after the finalists are revealed. And one of the other changes is that we're pulling in the award show. Typically, it was done the first Saturday in December, but we're actually going to pull that in a little bit and make it early November. This way, we avoid all of the holidays and things. For other people that are for the community that may be involved with Thanksgiving or the begin of the Christmas season, and for me too, because it makes my job a little bit easier getting all the trophies and that out before the crazy rush of the holiday season. Because that kind of put a little bit of pressure on me to get things done between right after Thanksgiving. So we're gonna shrink that in. So this was some suggestions that came in from the community and from the committee. They thought, to have a award show that spans over, 8 months, 9 months was too much. So, and maybe, I don't know if 8 weeks can build urgency for voting, but maybe it gets people to vote a little bit sooner. So we'll see. So that is the schedule. Let me just make sure everybody's still talking about the committee members battling it out. Let's see. Heroes Con is in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is in June, Father's Day weekend. It is a big. It's going to be a big spot for a number of the community members will be attending that show. It's kind of middle of the Northeast, so we have a lot of people coming from different areas. So. Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. Roscoe is here. So, DJ, thank you. Yeah. So this, that, like I said, that was one of the discussions with the committee was really about shrinking the timeline for the overall event to make it a little bit more condensed. So, I certainly like that idea. And like I said, thinking about it, pulling it in from that early December date to November clears me personally from the holiday season, and I don't have to feel pressure to get the trophies and things out in the mail. So I really think I really like this timeline, and we could in the future maybe even shrink it more. Maybe 8 weeks is too long for the nomination period, and then the finalist voting. Maybe we trim that down even further. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes this year, and then kind of go from there. So. Couple changes in the categories, and I think I've said it every year since the beginning of the first year that we kicked off that we're not going to be adding any more award categories, but we have done it again. We've added a few and we've tweaked a few. So let's take a look at the first change. So this is the tier. We're keeping the tiers, from one sub to $9.99. And we have some similar categories, basically the same categories coming back from last year, except for one change. So favorite channels there, that's just basically your favorite channel in that sub tier. Best unboxing, haul, or video series. We know within the community, a lot of us do unboxings, mail calls, things like that. Then the next category is best duo, couple, or collaborative event. So we keep that, team up. There are a number of teams. Could be a husband and wife, could be, whatever it may be. So we have the best speculation comic book investing content, the Keep Specking Award, named after Empire Comics, who we lost last year. But here is the change. Here is the big change. Best ongoing series, reoccurring series, minimum of 12 episodes. That was a single award last year. One person won that. But what we found is that even in last year's categories, there were, channels with a large number of subs, channels with smaller amounts of subs. It was a unique group that got nominated within that category. So what we're going to do there is we're going to add that category to each of the tiers. So we've removed it from the main category and we've added to each of the sub tiers. So now you may have an ongoing series, but the sub numbers are under 1,000, so they'll have an opportunity. And we'll do that for the same for 1,000 to 5,000. Same first, 4 categories. but the fifth one will now be best ongoing series. And then we do the same thing for the 5,001 plus subcategory. Same thing, favorite, best unboxing, best duo, best speculation. But now we have best ongoing. So that basically gives us 15 awards, 5 awards in each of the different sub category, sub tiers. That's 15 awards. So that's where we landed with, like I said, as far as committee discussion and feedback from the community. So I'm in South Carolina now too. Just make sure everybody not. So that is the first of the changes for the award categories this year. So now let's move on to the next 5. So biggest channel supporter is a new award that we added last year that will continue. Biggest channel supporter, Blue Wrench, fan, overall supporter. Just a way to recognize maybe a non-creator. This could be a creator. Maybe you have a mod on your channel that you want to recognize, but this could be somebody like Lucretius, who doesn't have a channel of his own, but is a big community supporter. He does a lot of things. He's in a lot of chats. Supporting and watching videos. So, that category will continue. Favorite community hands, mustache, facial hair, or hair, right? The category that had a little controversy last year about the winner and their hair or beard, but we're bringing that back. Favorite community artist. This was a new category that we had last year. That is back. One of the things, though, we wanted to clarify with this award because there was some question about the award. So it's amateur artists within the community. So what do we need? What do we mean by amateur artist? Somebody who hasn't been published. And when we say published, we on a Marvel, DC, image book or a recognized publisher, right? That's what we're talking about. And the other thing to mention about that is that it is really a one-time, similar to the lifetime achievement. That is a kind of a one and done, right? If you've won that award, so Roscoe, Geek Out with Roscoe, our favorite community artist from 2023, he will no longer be eligible for that award because he's already won it. So we want to share the wealth, share the love within the community. So that will be a kind of a one and done. He hasn't been. I haven't seen this guy in like a week. I don't know where he's hiding. I don't know if the police are on to him. I don't know what is going on in Queens, New York. But all of a sudden, he pops up tonight. It's amazing. It's amazing how he does that. So, community artist. Now, best comic book review. Again, a channel that consistently reviews comic books. That is the same category as it's been for since year one. Now, this is a little bit of a tweak. Best statue. I know DJ Lynx is your favorite statue guy. Best statue or toy review, review or unboxing. A channel that consistently reviews, unboxes statues or toys. We decided to add the toy category to make it a little bit more wider of a category. There are a number of people within the community that collect toys, action figures, pop figures. So we wanted to add that category or that include that within that category. Because I think the thing with statues, and there's been some feedback on statues, is that there are a lot of people that maybe would like to collect statues, but statues can be very expensive. And so there may be, that category may price some people out of being able to collect those. So we thought that adding the toy would kind of open up that category and include more members of the community. So let's see. Yeah. No, definitely think so. Right. And I think there are a number of channels that, action figure reviews, whether it's the Black Series, the Legend, we see a lot of Masters of the Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I really like that change because that really kind of opens up that category. Yeah. Hot toys are really right. Just really kind of expensive. expensive figures, right? 23. So that's the change for that set of categories. And then moving on to our next. So best omnibus review, that will continue. That is the same as last year. Best cleaning, pressing, or comic restoration content, channel that demonstrates these cleaning, pressing, or restoration techniques. So that's the same category it's been for a number of years, right? And we just want to make sure that channels that are nominated within that are actually demonstrating these techniques on their channel. So now here's a new one. CJ, listen up. Best community hangout live stream. Stream that supports community involvement or stream that on stream or in chat. So, the community hangout. And we know a bunch of them. CJ has his overnight stream that he does, Insomniac stream. We have the Legion stream on Fridays that I can think of. We have, maybe it's the Hunt. Maybe in the Hunt, the Friday night show. Maybe it's Biggie Shaq's Collectors Club. Or maybe it's one of the others, Mad Spidey's Outback, right? There are a number of different hangout streams. Marcus Circumstance does a FOC and chill stream during the week. Chris the Comic Vet and a number of people do New Comic Book Day stream. So that is really just another way to involve other channels that are doing things within the community. So maybe, but it did come as a suggestion from the community and from the committee. So, yeah, there you go. Mark is promoting a stream. I like it. I think that the hangout should be reoccurring, right? It shouldn't be just kind of one and done, right? Because I think for me personally, the idea behind that category is more of it's a category that is kind of an open stream so that other members, so my show that I do on Saturday mornings, Breakfast with Brian, I have guests on, but generally it's me just kind of running. I do a live stream, and although I have chat involvement, I very rarely have a lot of guests on. So I wouldn't consider that in that category, but I would consider, the other some of the other ones I've mentioned, because I think they're ongoing. TM Nerdy has one now, right? He does an evening, like a weekday show. So I think it definitely needs to be reoccurring. Maybe not as frequent as an ongoing series, where we know we have some, in the mix is always Friday nights, right? But I think we definitely want to see multiple shows. But there may be examples out there that I can't think of right now that maybe it's a single show, but I don't know if that really supports the community if they're only doing one show throughout the year. So. I do. So we do have, and it actually needs to be updated. So on the CBC Awards website, we do have a schedule of shows that I am aware of. If anybody is out there who wants to have their show included on that calendar, it is on the CBC Awards website. I need to go and take a look at it. Actually, Phil's Treehouse had mentioned it to me the other day, and I need to go update it because it's been, I haven't updated it recently, and I know there are some shows on there that are not shows anymore or not on the same schedule. So if there's anybody that wants their show included, let me know and we'll add that. No, we do not have that award for the most giveaways. So JMed is here. Okay, so best community hangout stream, and now here's another category that we've added. Best editing demonstrates video, audio, and or voiceover skills, right? So there's a lot of us that do editing, right? And we do some very simple cuts or maybe add some graphics, but we're talking kind of more, higher end editing. At least that's the way I interpret that category. Somebody who's adding, maybe doing some unique things, or maybe they have some great intros, outros, music involved, things like that. So really the high end editing, and you know you've seen it, right? We've seen channels that do highly produced content. Somebody who comes to mind who's been doing a little bit more of it recently is Izzyverse. DJ Links, who's here with us in the chat, right? He's another channel that comes to mind with top notch editing skills. So that's we wanted to recognize that. So more of kind of a technical award because believe me, the little editing that I do for some of the videos that I do, I know how much time it can take, and some people do it on their phone, some people are using very sophisticated editing programs. So when you edit video like that, it's certainly time consuming, and so we wanted to recognize that, and like I said, maybe be more of a technical. Um, Maybe a more technical award. um, well, I guess if you edit your own content, how would you be getting paid, right? So I'm really thinking of it as the channel owner, right? I don't pay anybody to edit my content. I do all my editing my own. So I think we'll have to kind of cross that as we see. It's not something we had considered, but I can certainly look at that. We'll see who gets nominated within that category. So, um, Hangout, I think for me, my interpretation of it is like just a hangout. No general agenda. So it's not an interview show. It's not I have the 411, which is a formal interview show. It's not like 10 questions. It's just a live stream that people and hang out and just open discussion. It's not really planned or topic wise. There's no real format to it, right? It's just kind of the hangout. So, like I said, the best example that I can think of, and because I watched a good chunk of it this morning, was the Legion Lair, the Friday stream. It's an open stream. People jump on. They were talking all kinds of, moving out of California. We were talking gas prices this morning, all kinds of stuff. That's kind of just a general. To me, that's a hangout stream. Insomniac, um, CJ's stream, right? He has a bunch of people come on and just it's kind of open topic, right? That's kind of how I see it. Aggressively throwing his hat in the ring. Similar, right? Yes, yeah. I wanted 4-1. The way I thought of it is 411, right? 411 when back in the day when you had to dial 411, it was information, right? So I'm giving information about the community member that I'm interviewing. It's my little play on words. Um, so so best editing, that's like I said, that's new. And then we have best new channel. That is that's we've had that since the beginning. Best new channel that started creating. So this is the clarification though, because the committee members kind of grilled me a little bit on this. So this is best new channel that started creating content after December 2023. So you may have had your YouTube channel for a long time, but you weren't doing comic book or comic book related content until till December, right? I mean, I had my channel since 2010, I think 2010, maybe 2013, but I didn't start creating comic book content until 3 years ago, and so that's just a distinction there for best new channel. Just that they started to create. They may have had their channel since 2015, but they started recently creating comic book content. So, no, you do not. And then now, this is our last set. So, best unknown, under 100 subscribers at the opening of the nomination period. So, nominations open in June. So, if you are under 100 subs in June, you can be considered, right? Because we do see throughout the awards nominations and finalist voting, people's sub numbers change, right? We're seeing crazy growth with shorts. So it's of that, at the beginning of that time period, I will look at those nominations as they come in and do a spot check on those channels. It was something I will kind of will just do, right? So we have most comedic content creator. That was changed last year, but that was formerly the most entertaining. But we wanted to have it more specific um, to um, to comedic channels. So let me just see. Let me see. There's some discussion about the editing, but I mean, if there's any concern about that, just let me know about that category. But like I said, we didn't feel there was any. I mean, from an editing perspective, right? I think it's a channel that demonstrates that. So um, just let me know. And then let's see, most comedic, then Comic Book Community Builder Award, creator that promotes, supports the community and its members, right? So that's somebody who has a body of work who's, whether it's shout outs, whether it's live streams and inviting guests on, things like that, right? When I think of that award, I think it's, somebody who's supporting the community, someone who's doing things just beyond creating videos on their channel. Comic Book Channel of the Year, I think it's self-explanatory, but when I think of a comic book channel of the year, again, it's a channel that goes above and beyond. Maybe they're producing, a lot of content, good content. Maybe they are supporting, events within the community or supporting community members. I think it's one of those well-rounded channel that kind of does a little bit of everything for the community. So there's John, one of our committee members who has helped shape this year's awards. Let's see. And then the final category is comic book, and we've changed this. It's the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame. And so this was formerly the Lifetime Achievement Award. And so there was some discussion last year about the Lifetime Achievement and should we change that? 3 years wasn't enough. And so we are grandfathering in the 3 first Lifetime Achievement Awards. So Reggie Collects, Comics with Bueller, and Comic Tropes will all be part of the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame, right? And so we've tweaked this category a little bit. So a channel with 5+ years on YouTube and obviously has a body of work. And we'd like it obviously to be a channel that's currently active, right? We potentially could recognize maybe one of the OGs in the community, maybe who's not doing much stuff today, but has a body of work in the past. But like I said, it's really, we're tweaking the Lifetime Achievement to become the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame. And one of the discussion points we had with the committee on this one was, do we announce who the winner is for that category? And so for that category, that is really a committee vote. So the committee will look at all of the nominations that come in and then make a decision on who the winner is there. And typically we've gone with what the finalist votes were. And if we were in agreement, that person had won. And so there's been really no discrepancy in that. It's really still been a community vote. But one of the things we're thinking about is, do we want to announce that ahead of the award show so that we can celebrate that channel a little bit more, maybe spotlight that channel, get more involvement of people that watch that channel. So that's kind of an open discussion. The committee thought that we should still announce that at the end of the show, the finalist show, when we announce all of the winners. And that's what we're going to go with right now, unless there's some discussion about changing that. So certainly just kind of throwing that out there. So we have some of our former winners here. Melina and Manga, appreciate you being here. Kenneth is here. Good evening, Kenneth. So those are all of the changes um, for this year. So we've gone from 26 awards last year to now 30 because we've moved. So let me just scroll back for people that are joining. We moved Best Ongoing Series into the tier category. So that went from one award to three awards because it's in each of the tiers. And then we added Best Editing. And why am I drawing a blank? We added Best Editing and I'm totally drawing a blank here. Oh, Best Hangout. I'm sorry. Totally drawing a blank. So those are the two. So we added basically went from 26, added the two new categories, and the fact that we moved one award into the tier categories brings us up to 30, 30 total awards. So one other thing to mention, we're going to be doing sponsorships again to help fund some of the trophies and some of the cost because we're in some cases we depending on who wins in what categories in the duo best duo couple sometimes there's multiple winners and so there's multiple trophies that are handed out. So we'll be doing sponsorships again. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll have more information up on the website. I haven't posted any of this information on the website as of yet because I wanted to kind of get it out there within this video and see if there was any discussion, anybody had any concerns or feedback about the changes for this year. And since we're not kicking things off until June 15th, we have a little bit of time. We have about three months. If there's any potential changes, it can be suggested. We'll take it back to the committee. I'll take it back to the committee, and we'll kind of go from there. So, and really too, this is the opportunity because I know there are some people that say, well, we don't like channels that do campaigning. Well, nominations have not opened, and they won't open to June. So maybe if anybody wants to do some campaigning before nominations open, you have a period of time that you can do that, right? So yeah, John, I really appreciate that you decided. I had reached out to you and you decided to join us, and it's good to have your voice in the community. So. Um, what's the point of waiting until the show if you're voting internally? Yeah, that's my my like I said my only real reason to announcing it early for the Hall of Fame was really just to celebrate that channel. But to me there seems to be I think there's value in that we know so and so is going to be inducted into the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame, and that we have a little bit more time to celebrate that channel instead of just having it announced the night of the awards to be able to and so then it's a surprise and we don't have the opportunity to celebrate that channel maybe a little bit more. So that's my thought on this one. Let's see. As Vaughn is here, just checking in on the chat. Damn. Are there enough? That's interesting, but I don't know. I don't know if there's enough Hangout streams to be nominated, right? I mean, there's certainly a number of them, but I mean, I don't know if the category, if we split that category, would there be enough? So, well, yeah, right, Mike. I guess you're not doing reviews anymore. That was a category that you have, historically been nominated in. So, so yes, maybe that's it, right? Oh, that's funny. So I think that's about it. Like I said, I really wanted to do this ahead of time, to be able to just kind of get it out there, and so that we had the opportunity, right? That nominations weren't starting tomorrow, so we had a little bit more lead time to be able to think about the changes that have been put in place, and if there's any concerns or feedback, let me know. Maybe there's something that I overlooked, or the discussion with the committee that as a whole we overlooked. Um, there's already some questions or suggestions in the chat, so definitely you can hit me up on Instagram. You can use the Comic Book Community Awards email. There is a contact link on the CBC Awards website. So any of those ways, if you have any takeaways from tonight or any concerns or feedback, certainly get those into me. Like I said, we have until June before things kind of kick off. So and the biggest thing you guys can do is just really continue to help share this and support it. I mean, the support is there, but it's really sharing it, right? We want to make sure that we're getting all the different corners of the community. I was doing some, um, just some searches and looking around today on YouTube, and I found like 5 or 6 new comic book channels that were not on my radar. And so there are certainly areas of the community that are not aware of the awards, or new channels that maybe weren't with us last year that are not aware. So if you guys can continue to just share it on Instagram or mention it in a live stream, I'm going to put together a quick little video that I'll send out, or if you'd like to use it in your live stream, kind of a pre-recorded thing going over the dates and those type of things. So just really, again, want to continue to spread awareness. Yes, yeah. So K-pop, yeah, that's exactly it. So that way, if there's anything that you think is missing or not right, we have the opportunity to correct it before the awards kick off, or tweak things, right? And so that's, like I said, that's the only reason why I really wanted to kind of do this in early March. March 1st, here we are, to kind of give us that runway, that lead time. So um, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, there was the committee spent a good amount of time, and the committee is we're on basically an IG chat and a lot of discussion, going back and forth, and different various opinions, and kind of just trying to make sure that we got everything, and that we took the feedback from last year and got it into this year's award. So. Um, Yeah, I'm amazed. Like I said, I found like 5, 6 new channels today that, um, some 400 or 500 subs, and I just not we're not aware of them. So, um, all right, yep. I'm definitely going to put that together. I'm probably going to give it a little bit of time just to see if there's any feedback from tonight's stream, and I know others will be watching this stream, over the next couple days, or whenever they get to it. So. Um, but yeah, I think that's really all I've got for you. Good. Yeah, definitely. We'll get that video together and get that sent out. And that's we're just really trying to think of other ways that we can promote the awards, and like I said, really get them into all the different niches and sub niches within our own community. That's really what we're looking to do. So. Um, Kingdom of Nerds, hello. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, I think that's really all I've got for you. So I will post all this information up on the CBC Awards website, and we'll kind of let everybody, get a chance to digest all of the new things, the changes, the schedule, and kind of go from there. Like I said, please hit me up, IG, email, through the website, any feedback, any concerns, any suggestions, anything that like I said, we've got a little bit of time that we can tweak things if we need to. But I really want to thank the committee for all of their work, just the open discussion that we've had to get things where they are for this year's award. So And, good luck to everybody once nominations open. But we'll be touching base. I'll have a few streams. I don't want to do too many, but we'll be checking in as we lead up to the nomination period opening. And certainly, if there's any outcome, any changes that happen, we'll certainly I'll put a video, or do another live stream, and we'll certainly make sure that all of those changes, if there are any, are published up on the website as well. So, appreciate you guys being here. Council of Comics, one of our winners from last year. Appreciate you guys being here. But that's what I got for you today. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. And like I said, I'll get things updated on the website, and definitely hit me up if there's any, feedback or suggestions for this year's awards and the changes that we made. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's see. We're going to leave you with something. We'll leave you with one of our videos from last year's awards. What do we leave you with? We'll leave you with Mr. TM Nerdy and Mr. Roscoe. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
All right. So say you were up against The Rock and John Cena in a wrestling match. Who are you picking as your tag team partner? We have Pocan Joe or Remy from Remy Studios.
I was instantly going to be like Pocan Joe. Like, he's indestructible, but then you have Remy Q, who will, he'd probably bring the freaking chainsaw to the match. Gonna go Pocan Joe. He's the indestructible man. So yeah, okay. Pocan Joe.
It is time finally for the Comic Book Community Awards 2023, where we will come down and celebrate these great content creators on YouTube. This thing that has been a year in the making is finally upon us, and a pimp named Slaughter could not be more excited to share this night with you, his comic book brothers and sisters, as we push this comic book culture into the digital age, baby. Now I know we're a diverse bunch of people. Some people think things have gone too woke. Some people think it ain't woke enough. Our debates about these things are funny to me. We act like the fate of the multiverse depends upon our arguments that we're having. But none of these things matter. I know they're fun. I know many of us say we don't want drama, but we click like quick. We love to talk about is DC better than Marvel? Are independent books better? Is this movie too woke? You might have voted for this guy, you might have voted for that guy, but tonight none of that matters, because there's space in this comic book tent for all of us. And that's the beautiful thing about this comic book hobby. Because I want to remind y'all of one thing. Our differences are like these variant covers that we like to buy so much. Yes, that cover on the outside is different than the one that I bought. But if you open up that book and look inside, it's the same story. And our story is a love for comic books. And that's what tonight is all about. So set your culture wars aside and let's just focus on the one thing that unites us all in this diverse, divided world. And that is the wonderfulness, the beautifulness of this comic book hobby and this comic book medium. In the words of the great philosopher Stan Lee, Excelsior, baby. Now let's get this party started. You feel me?